So path is pretty clear. Okay.
Mm.
We'll start. Already finished, right?
900.
Finished 104 plus we'll try to cover up 303 plus 304. So actually this AZ104 is like baseline, and this is kind of architectural of Azure cloud, how to do the migration, how the hybrid identity works, how your the migrations and DevOps engineering complete at the full stack architect, Azure solution architect. Okay, and finally our bread and butter is AZ 500. Okay, because actually we have our target is to become cloud security architect, and later on after finishing this I will touch upon AWS security. Okay,
Mm.
very less, not much because it will be too much for you, and
Mm.
GC security. Just compare, for comparison might be someone ask questions like that, so we'll touch upon these things. Okay,
Mm.
is it
Mm.
clear, sir? We are on the right
Yes,
track.
yes,
So
yes.
it's done. You already completed?
I completed. I am also going through video, and
Mm.
I am thinking to book this exam also. So I'm planning to give this because SCL is giving free coupon. So I'm
Uh,
thinking I should appear for this exam also.
so Mr. Negi, you are late actually. You are a little bit late, like Varun. So the
Mm-hmm.
last date was 30th June in HCL voucher.
No, no, that has been extended for 2022.
2022.
Yes, they have extended all Microsoft certification until 2022.
Oh, congratulations. Okay. So yes, do no delay. Start with AZ 900. Okay, we'll go
Mm-hmm.
one by one. And finally we have to do this AZ 500. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So but okay, because our target and our role will be security. So why we are studying this cloud and thing? Any guess?
No,
Our target is cloud security, right? Still we
right.
are reading cloud and all those things. Why?
So that we understand the components and the basics
Mm,
that how different components in the cloud are working together.
mm. Yes, you got it. You got it.
Hmm.
Hey, fair enough. Because if you don't know cloud, how will you secure it? That's a
Yes.
problem. So
Hmm.
to secure your cloud, you should know how the cloud architecture is. What are the components? Like you already told, right? What are the components are and how they work and what is the relation, right? So
Hmm.
let's. I will share this documentation with you. Okay.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah. So it's a Microsoft documentation, MCT one, and awesome documentation actually.
Hmm.
Okay, and you can also follow my channel. There is a channel also, YouTube channel.
YouTube channel. Okay, I will follow it.
Oh, yeah, I will share with you link. So and this is also sequence of certification for us. Okay,
Hmm.
so need not to worry about that. Let's go fast here. Yeah. So actually, this AZ 900 is for Azure Administrator. Okay.
Hmm.
AZ 303 304 is for Azure Cloud Architect. So
Hmm.
our purpose is to become cloud architect, because considering our experience, the rich experience in the IT and the age factor, we have to focus on Azure Solution Architect.
Hmm.
Okay. This
Yes.
AZ 900 is a starting point, but we should understand this because this is going to help us, you know. So you can focus on this, and likewise, everything is mentioned what we are going to cover here. Yeah. So actually,
Hmm.
this is your complete content. Okay. Identity, I don't think I have to cover many things actually. Okay.
Hmm.
In identity, your complete as your Active Directory will come. Okay, your on-premise Active Directory will come, and how you are going to connect through Azure AD Connect. Okay, so just can you tell me what are the modern authentication?
What are
Modern authentications.
modern authentication? Is your two-factor authentication, where apart from your traditional user ID password, you have
Mm-hmm.
one more layer to
Mm-hmm.
authenticate or to secure your login or while accessing resources. So, like
Mm-hmm.
MFA, conditional access, access based on some conditions.
Okay. So then what is OIDC? What is SAML?
Okay, so these are the new authentication. Yes,
Yes,
like
sir.
uh,
Yeah. So actually, you know everything. I'm just recalling those things. I'm trying to keep in your memory when interviewer asks those questions. You should remember all those things, nonsense things actually. So modern authentication is your SAML, OAuth,
OAuth. Hmm.
OIDC, Open Connect, and
Hmm.
WS
Fed.
Federation. Right?
Hmm.
Why do we need modern authentication?
Because
This is
the in the
Mhm.
cloud, the Kerberos and the NTLM authentication is not supported.
Okay. What else? Yeah, that's the right answer. What else?
Maybe the things are more happening now on the internet. A lot of
Hmm.
services are
API,
API based internet.
Application Programming Interface. The reason
Hmm.
is all the applications nowadays are communicating, Negi sir, through API, right?
API. Hmm.
Problem is Kerberos didn't understand this API thing.
Hmm.
NTLM gone case.
Hmm.
LDAP is okay, fine, but it's still problem, right? Okay, that's why. Okay, what are the challenges with Kerberos? These are security question,
Hmm.
right? Identity is part of security access management.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. What is Kerberos? Why? What are the challenges with Kerberos?
Don't remember.
Mm-hmm. I'm giving you guess. Single secret key, right?
Hmm.
Single secret key
Hmm.
means in in Kerberos there will be single secret key which will be stored on KDC, your Kerberos database, right? The KDC. And if you remember, what is PKI?
PKI is your public key infrastructure where your all your keys
Public
uh,
key and private key. So in
yes.
PKI, SSL and TLS, right?
Mm-hmm.
SSL and
NTL.
TLS, right? So in PKI, you are going to get public key and private key,
Mm-hmm.
two, right?
Right.
But in Kerberos, there will be secret key. Which one is secure? Secure one?
Secure is your SSL TLS is more
PKI,
secure.
right?
Yeah.
So that's the problem with the Kerberos secret key. That's why we need MFA, multi-factor authentication, because Kerberos can be compromised anytime. You never know,
Mm-hmm.
right? So these are the consideration point of view you have to consider. Those are interview questions. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
modern authentication. Now, yes, Azure Active Directory also started supporting these Kerberos and LDAP somewhere. They Microsoft doing a lot of research on this nowadays, right? But
Mm-hmm.
yes, these authentications are like modern authentications. Okay, sir.
Okay.
So this part you have to cover by your own, right? I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
touch upon. Uh, I will, I will like these things I discuss because these are interview questions and these are interesting points. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like in identity, then governance and model compliance, like Azure policy, you know. Then your
Mm-hmm.
Azure administration means how you're going to manage your Azure cloud, you know. You have
Mm-hmm.
PaaS, SaaS, and you have, you know, your IaaS infrastructure, right? And how you're going to connectivity. So
Mm-hmm.
connectivity means, suppose you have on-premise environment and you have Azure cloud. So what you can
Mm-hmm.
use? You can use VPN. You have VPN
Yes.
option. Another option is express route.
Express route. Yes.
So my question is, what is difference between express route and VPN?
Express route is your dedicated. It's a private link between your Azure resources and your on-premise, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you don't want a high-speed network and dedicated line, then you go with the VPN gateway.
And what are the challenges with VPN, Nikiji?
VPN gateway.
Mm. What are the challenges? Actually, the challenge with the VPN is it uses IPsec protocol,
IPsec. Hmm.
right? So when it is going to use IPsec protocol, it is going to do the lot of encryption, decryption, and header IP header will be increasing, and your network, your you know bandwidth, your network transfer will be always very slow,
Mm-hmm.
right? So VPN we are using since last many years, and
Many.
VPN never made us happy, right? We were not happy by using VPN. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's okay, we can do work, but it's not up to the mark, right? That's why we need express route for complete dedicated high speed internet and dedicated connectivity, virtual LAN connectivity, everything actually through express route. Okay.
So VPN is because lot of encryption, decryption will be happening at the gate VPN level, so the
Yeah.
traffic will be slow,
Yes,
and
mm.
so it will take a lot of resources also on the VPN gateway, है ना?
Right, right. That's why it's slow and it's not recommended solution if you need higher bandwidth, right?
High bandwidth is
Okay, express route works on which protocol?
express route
B BGP, Broader Gateway
gateway
Protocol.
protocol BGP. Okay.
Okay, so you have to offline read about with the BGP, how BGP works, because service provider ISP's requirement is there. Okay, next
Right.
is your network traffic management. Network traffic management, your load balancer will come, your application gateway will come, all those things will come under network traffic management. And how the networking works in your Azure cloud, I will explain you everything. Okay, coming to Azure storage. So storage is like pretty easy in a cloud area, right? So you have
Right.
like four types of storage: blob, your file services, your queue, and
The
then you
table.
have the table, right? Four types there. Yeah.
Yes.
So we are going to do this, how to create, the bucket, how to create the container within the blob storage, and how can you store your storage, right? And how the important part is here, how can you secure your data? I will focus on the data security later on. Let's focus on cloud thing first. Then Azure virtual machine, need not to tell you. Serverless computing. Serverless
Mm-hmm.
computing is like sales funda actually, salespeople funda. So like suppose I have to sell something to you, you are my customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm service provider, you are my customer, I'm giving you something. So I will ask my sales team or pre-sales team, do some number game, or display something, do something show off to impress the
Mm-hmm.
customer. So serverless is kind just impressing the customer, because serverless is not going to support OSI or TCP/IP model. So
Mm-hmm.
serverless is for customer, because you're getting your services as a SaaS kind of solution, right? But in
Right.
the back end, cloud player is managing the servers for sure, right?
Right.
Then
Mm-hmm.
your data protection means your backup, your DR, and the last, the monitoring. Important point, because monitoring is also part of security.
Security.
right? So
Right.
let's uh, jump on the identity quickly. Um,
1 minute, Rutnesh, bhai, 1 minute. Let me take a notepad
no,
and
no,
I will
yeah, you
make
take
some.
notepad. Also, I'm going to share recording of the meeting with you. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, recording is fine, but some important question which you are highlighting, I will make a note of these topic. No?
Yes, and you have to ask me counter question.
Yes.
Okay. Then it will be pretty clear how we can proceed further. Yeah, take a notepad. It's fine.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's good thing actually. Make a note of things. So our target is this week only to finish AZ104.
Okay.
We are going very fast, okay?
No
Because this is
problem.
fast track. We cannot go slow. Okay. So Azure Active Directory, AD concept. What is difference between ADDS and Azure Active Directory? We are going to discuss this. How many licenses in Azure Active Directory? Okay. Azure AD join, self software. These things we are going to discuss quickly. So this is your Azure Active Directory. Okay.
Yes.
So now can you tell me what is difference between Azure Active Directory and Active Directory? You tell me.
So Azure Active Directory is the database maybe, or is the repository where you have all identities for your tenants, and
Mm-hmm.
Active Directory is the feature which is installed when you configure your domain services in on-premise environment. So these two are not similar, but they are very different. Although
Mm-hmm.
they provide the same authentication and authorization mechanism for your
Mm-hmm.
users and for your resources.
Same mechanism? Are you sure?
Mechanism is
No, no, no,
not
no.
a, not same. Okay.
Yeah, because that is the difference. That's the beauty. So the first difference you have to remember, because see, these are interview questions. I'm telling you upfront.
Mhm.
So difference is what we already discussed. Kerberos and TLM.
Protocol difference, yes.
Yes, LDAP and this modern authentication. Modern
Yes.
authentication will be not supported by Active Directory. There are
Active Directory.
challenges. What other differences is Azure Active Directory has flat structure of AD. It does no forest concept, no
Yes.
OE concept, no
Mm.
GPU concept.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So remember only two things for interview. Not nothing
Mm-hmm.
more. Means modern authentication difference, and second is flat structure. Means Azure Active Directory is a flat structure, no view, no GPU, no forest. Clear?
No problem. Clear.
Very simple. Yeah. And nothing else you need to remember. Very simple. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in Azure, you will see like the term identity will be there, account will be Azure AD account, tenant, Azure subscription. So my question is, what is Azure subscription?
Azure subscription is the service which you take from Microsoft to
Mhm,
manage your environment. So if you want to build your
mhm,
services in cloud, you have to
mhm.
take subscription from Microsoft, and they will
Oh,
provision a tenant for you.
right. So Azure tenant and Azure subscription, you explained in one liner. That's fine. Simple. Nothing else. Okay. Let's move forward. Now see what is the difference between Azure and Azure Active Directory. More details actually here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So REST API is your modern authentication.
Yes. It's a API based authentication and communication. See, Negiji, because see, all the application nowadays are communicating through API and they are compatible with the communicating API, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the problem with this Active Directory, they didn't understand this API concept actually, how the communication is happening, the API calling. or the because different application have different API connectors or API gateways kind of, right? So there will be challenge from the Active Directory. That's
Mm-hmm.
why this Azure Active Directory is coming, where it is using LDAP, Active Directory.
Mm-hmm.
It's using REST API over HTTP and HTTPS. Major difference,
Okay.
right? What else?
Mm-hmm.
Next is modern authentication. See, next one is
Yes.
modern services, right?
Modern. Yes.
Right. Next is, remember, ADFS,
ADFX. Yes.
Active Directory Federation Services, where you were going to get SSO and MFA, right?
Mm-hmm. All right.
But for that, you have to build your ADFS environment and everything.
Mm-hmm.
In Azure Active Directory, you are going to get cloud-based federation services, and it has many different new features available within the ADFS and as a service, no server required, and you are using
No.
as a pretty simple. So now you can confuse interviewer also. Now you have list of differences. Getting my
Mm-hmm.
point? So now
Mm-hmm.
and the last one, I think I already explained.
Yes. Flat structure and no
Flat structure.
OUGPU.
Yes. And no forest. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not mentioned, but I'm just highlighting. Forest, if flat structure, how the forest will come into the picture, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So Ratnesh, bhai, if you are
Hmm.
saying that there is no group policy object, so
Hmm.
how do we apply group policy in the cloud, or we don't apply any group policy?
Good question. Good question. Good counter question. So for that solution, we have Microsoft Intune.
Okay, we use Intune to apply policies.
GPU group policies on your on-premise environment,
Mm-hmm.
because GPU's concept is in cloud is not there. There is a Azure policy concept.
Okay, Azure
Azure
policy.
Azure policy is there, but no GPU and OU concept. If you have already hybrid environment and you want to play around with your devices, or with your workstations or laptop, desktop, mobile devices, go for Microsoft Intune. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that's a nice question, because it's an interview question actually. Any other
Mm-hmm.
question, sir?
No,
No? Clear? So now
clear.
you have pretty clear cut idea about what is the difference between your Azure Active Directory and your uh, AD and AAD, right? Simple.
AD.
AD
Yes.
and AAD. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to share these all documentation with you. Don't worry about that. You make a note of
Mm-hmm.
it. I'm going to share with video also. I'm
Okay.
going to share with you my YouTube channel also, a
Okay.
walkthrough. You are going to get
Mm-hmm.
everything in the videos. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So now next question is, my question is, how many licenses Azure Active Directory is, or how many editions are there? Okay. So I will
Mm-hmm.
answer this question. You will not answer this question. So you have to remember only the premium one, P1 and premium 2. There are
Mm-hmm.
two kind of licenses. Forget this free and Microsoft 365, because as a cloud security architect, we are not we are not concerned about the free and this on Microsoft 365 apps and all those nonsense. Don't worry about that
Mm-hmm.
thing. Focus on premium 1 and premium 2. Okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And now
So
my
if
next question
interviewer
is
if interviewer asks question on the edition, so we'll talk only two edition, P1 and
two,
P2.
no, not yeah, free. This thing, this is for only the freshers and Azure administrator. I'm telling those people,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you
Mm-hmm.
are like solution architect. You are a cloud security architect. Think like that. Why going with
Mm-hmm.
this nonsense version of this Active Directory? We
Okay.
as an enterprise, any enterprise is going to use P1, and I'm telling you, my friends, sir, nowadays
Mm-hmm.
everyone is using P2.
P2. Okay.
Okay, what is the reason behind using P2? What is the difference between P1 and P2? Negi sir.
Uh, Features difference. There we in the P2 getting some additional features like identity protection and governance.
Yes, this is called PIM, Privileged Identity Management.
PIM.
Extra
Okay.
security fee. Yes, PIM, Privileged Identity Management. Like CyberArk. Remember?
That's 10.
Aston, yeah, CyberArk. All those are on-premise solution, but it's like cloud solution like PIM, Azure Privileged Identity Management, right?
Right.
If you have P1 license, you're not going to get all those security features. So as a cloud security architect, we'll recommend always P2
P2.
license,
Mhm.
right, sir?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. What is Azure AD join? So in on-premise, we have domain join, right?
Yes.
So here is Azure AD join. Okay.
Mhm.
So what you can do actually, you can install the services Azure AD domain services. Have you created your subscription on Azure Cloud? $200 one or not?
I had created initially. I don't know if I'm allowed to create one more or not. I will try.
Yeah, try that. Get the subscription ready. Okay. In
Mm.
that way, we can do some hands-on also. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. So same like domain joining, we have Azure AD joining. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So how we do join the domain? What is difference between domain and workgroup, sir? Simple question.
Work group is your machine is not connected to any domain account, and domain ID. You like in on-premise, you build your domain infrastructure and then you join those machines to client machines to that domain. Similarly, we will be joining these client machines to Azure AD. Azure AD means
Yes.
they
Right, right. So actually, naming concept is same, but it will be part of your Azure cloud only. Okay.
Azure Cloud. Hmm.
Yeah, domain concept, like you have to create custom domain, and that custom domain will be treated as a domain joining. Suppose you created one virtual machine in Azure cloud, right?
Hmm.
And you want to
Hmm.
join a domain, then you are going
Hmm.
to use that same thing. Okay. And I
Hmm.
need not to tell you SSR PR, it's like service desk job. We
Hmm.
as a cloud solution architect, we need not to focus all these nonsense things. Okay, small things
Hmm.
for us. Okay, users and groups, not big thing for us, right? Let's move
Right.
forward. Yeah. And enabling multi-factor authentication, we can play around MFA, right?
Right.
Okay. AD, this is nonsense. Okay, any questions, sir, so far?
No, no.
I will move like this in the fast mode only, because but you have to revise these things actually by your own.
Yes, yes. I
Okay.
will. Hmm.
Yeah. I'm going fast because these are Active Directory things and you are already champion of those things, right?
Right.
Okay. So subscription and accounts. So this is nothing, Microsoft and regions and all those things, right? So uh, actually the concept of data center only, Nikiji, like
Hmm.
they have data center and they're calling it as a, you know,
Reasons.
your AZ, availability zone, and combination of availability zone will be called as a region, right? Kind
Reason.
of. Yeah. So simply, so what is Azure subscription? You already told, right? And within the Azure subscription, you are going to create RG, resource group. And in resource group, you are going to create resources. Getting
Sources.
my point? So
Yes.
the cycle is subscription, resource group, and resources. What are the resources? VM.
Resources can be your compute, your network,
Yeah,
your
anything. Yeah, right. Absolutely right. Okay. So this is also not important thing. Need not to focus on this. Okay. And now next thing is like cost management. Okay. So I will show you cost calculator. Okay. So every cloud, like you talk about AWS or GCP, they have their own pricing calculator. Okay.
Mhm.
Pricing calculator means like when you are going to implement anything or build any infrastructure or anything, you can use these calculators to do your all resource calculation. Means how many VMs, how many load balancers, how many storage account, everything it is going to do here. So looks like some slowness is there. It's not opening properly.
So
Okay.
it
Mm-hmm.
it is not
Mm-hmm.
giving us the money we will spend on this machine, or it is giving us the resources we need to build
Estimation, see, estimation,
estimate.
kind of estimation. Real time data you're going to get in the portal itself, don't worry about that. I'm telling
Okay.
you, as a cloud solution architect, right,
Mm-hmm.
as a Azure administrator,
Mm-hmm.
client will ask us, okay, this kind of VMs, this kind of this, can you give me some rough idea what will be the
Mm-hmm.
costing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you are going to use this calculator. Okay, sir,
Mm-hmm.
this is your Azure calculator, you can use it anytime. Okay, makes sense. So this is like cost management. When we'll go to the portal, I will show these things, not very important. Okay, resource tags, what are the tags?
Access to group certain resources with similar characteristics. So maybe if
Mm-hmm.
you have
Mm-hmm.
some of your database which belongs to different resource group, so you might want to tag them as your enterprise database, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
will be easy to apply or organize or apply policy or access to the certain groups or people. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
we can use tags.
So you are reading from somewhere, or you remember those things?
No, no, I remember.
My God, salute to you. You are absolutely right, sir. You are defining better than me actually, because I don't remember same kind of definition. Okay, so actually remember when we were creating users into our Active Directory. Remember
Mm,
Active Directory
mm,
console. So
mm,
downside we give the reference something, department
mm,
or ticket number. Remember.
mm, mm,
Actually, the beauty of the tagging was already there, but it was not optimum utilization.
mm,
Right, the tagging thing was already there, like remedy ticket number, service now ticket number, and who is requested for this user ID creation or group creation, remember, sir?
right.
But here Azure cloud is doing optimum utilization of tagging, means later on we can use those tags to apply the Azure policy, right, related with
Mm,
your cost controlling anything actually, right?
mm, mm,
Cost saving, this is not very important here, will come to. Yeah, so this is your security thing is coming, Azure policy.
mm,
Okay, I will focus something into it, because this is related with something security actually, and this is interview question. Okay,
mm, mm,
suppose I'm giving you a question, like suppose you are big, your company is very big enterprise, right,
mm.
and you have many subscription, how will you manage those subscriptions? Suppose you have 100 subscription, how will you manage that?
Mm.
That's a
I don't.
challenge.
Mm,
Yeah. So actually, when you have many subscription, means n number of subscription, it's not easy to manage all those things, because a lot of manual efforts required. How just remember all those things. It's nonsense kind of things. It's time taking. So the concept of management group is there. Means you can create your management group, and you can add all the subscription in the same management group. I will show in the console also. That's very much possible whenever you are ready with your subscription. By chance you try, else I will try to provide mine one. Okay, well, I will share
mm,
mine, because I want you to do the practice hands on by your own, because I have many practice, I did a lot of practice in labs. I want you to explore yourself by doing
mm.
hands on things, right, sir?
So to manage multiple subscription, we create groups, right?
Management group, yeah, MG management group. So what will happen?
Management.
Yeah,
Mm,
in management group, it will show you hierarchical group of a subscription, like one by
mm,
one, and you can
mm.
see there everything, you can control everything from there. That's the beauty of this management group.
So
Means,
means these all subscription will be different subscription. They are not in a tree structure that we have one subscription
yes,
below that.
yeah, management group will make a tree structure, that's right.
Management group will create tree structure, but by themselves they are independent subscriptions.
That's right, yeah.
But why do we need multiple subscription when we already getting all the resources and everything in one subscription? So
Hmm.
why any enterprise will need
Hmm.
multiple subscriptions?
That's an interview question. I'm I'm very happy you are asking very lovely questions actually. This is interview question. So actually, as you know, we have many environments, right?
Mhm,
Production, test, UAT,
mhm,
development, right?
mhm,
So you have two option available. Okay. You can go for one subscription. Okay. In the
mhm,
same subscription, you can create multiple RGs, resource
mhm,
group. Okay.
mhm,
That's a one option. To
mhm,
manage all your production development means one RG you created for production, another
mhm,
RG will be UAT or development, right?
mhm. Right.
Another option is you can go for different subscription, and
Okay.
one subscription will be production, another
Mhm,
subscription will be development, and another,
mhm,
third one will be test. Getting my point?
mhm,
So it will depend of the company's requirement, and also the problem is the billing actually.
mhm,
Let me tell you. Take example of HCL.
mhm,
Okay, no, I will not take example of HCL. I will take example of Wipro
mhm,
because offer will come from next company. HCL is not going to give you offer. Okay,
mhm,
let's talk about new offer coming company. Okay,
mhm,
so Wipro has its own technologies
mhm,
and Wipro has consumer services.
mhm,
They have taken one subscription. Think about it.
mhm,
Now, consumer means your Santur soap,
mhm,
your this Wipro LED
mhm,
electrical items, right? So the problem is how they're going to manage the billing actually. Getting my point?
mhm, mhm,
I have given just one example to you.
mhm,
So that is the one case. In that case, you have to go different subscription
mhm,
because billing how you are going to control, because consumer health will not going to pay for Wipro technologies.
mhm,
And why Wipro Technology is paying to consumer? Because different business altogether, different CEO, different CTO, different
mhm.
management level there. Getting my point?
Right,
I
right.
hope I
So
hope I'm given some idea to you.
yeah, yeah. So like you have Tata, you have Tata Finance,
Mm-hmm.
Tata Technology,
Mm-hmm.
Tata Manufacturing. So all
Mm-hmm.
these are different under one group, but they are working as an independent company. So as in Tata, you might want to go for three subscription for three business functions they are into for billing
Mm-hmm.
purpose, because each of the organization will not pay, or they have the
Yeah,
different
yeah,
org structure. Mhm,
yes, that's the reason. Clear?
mhm.
And this is interview question actually.
Okay.
Okay. Any
Mhm.
other question?
No.
No. So let's jump on Azure policy. So like there's a no GPO, there is a no OE concept. So they have Azure Cloud come up with their Azure policy, right?
Mhm,
So those policies you can there are already built-in policy, same like ADM templates, right? We have Azure
mhm.
policy here, and you can create it built-in custom one and apply on the resources, apply on your uh,
Groups.
subscription groups and resource groups and resources anywhere you can apply. Okay,
Mhm.
so you have some built-in policy and you can also create custom policy, right? So I
Right.
will take one example of the policy, you will understand clearly. See, and the what is the file format of the policy? JSON.
Jason. Okay.
Yeah, JSON will be the file format. And what is GitHub, Mr. Negiji?
GitHub is your code repository actually.
Code repository. Do you have your account on GitHub?
Uh, Not recently. I had in very beginning, like some 10 years back. I have account in GitHub when I was learning some programming concept. But after that,
Mm-hmm.
I moved into administration, so I
Mm-hmm.
was not very much active on
Mm-hmm.
GitHub.
No problem. So now try to focus on create your another account on the GitHub and practice it, because GitHub is going to give you a lot of benefits, down the line.
Mhm.
Okay. So what is happening here? So this is kind of policy definition. You see the example, you know.
Mhm.
So the Visual Studio Enterprises. What is the use of Visual Studio?
Visual Studio is a kind of compiler where we all write all our code and then
We can
use
call it
this
ID. ID.
ID. Yes.
Yes, you are right. So it's kind of ID where you can connect with your Azure cloud, you can connect with your GitHub, and you can play around with your environment, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So this is kind of policy sample is there. You can play around and you can apply the policies and new things you will see here. So there is a definition, a
Mhm.
policy, and then assignment of the policy. And the beauty of the policy is it is going to give you compliance score.
Mhm.
Compliance score and how's your environment is compliant. If non-compliant, you have to remediate also by using Azure policy. So one
Mhm.
security product I will highlight here, Azure Security Center.
Mhm.
Okay, that's one of the console of Azure Security Center, which is going to do the assessment of your security assessment
Mhm.
of your Azure cloud environment. It will get
Mhm.
data from the Azure policy as well. So
Mhm.
if, take example, if multi-factor authentication is not enabled on any user, okay, what will
Mhm.
say? It's non-compliant user.
Mhm.
Because nowadays multi-factor is mandatory, and if it's on, it's a hybrid kind of environment, it's 100% mandatory because Kerberos will be there, because
Mhm.
Kerberos is not secure, right? So all those things you can play around with Azure policy. Okay, any
Mhm.
question on policy?
No. No.
Pretty simple because we are going very fast, so we cannot, invest more time. What is RBAC? Quickly, this is our last topic today.
RBAC is your role-based access. So you, based on the job the people has to perform. So they
Mm-hmm.
don't have the least privilege. RBAC is your least privileged
Mm-hmm.
method. So you
Mm-hmm.
only provide access to what the people need to perform in their job.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone has to only read the document, so we don't want to give them the right and modify permissions. So this is RBAC.
Absolutely, 100% correct, Ringy. So actually, least access to the users, right?
Least access. Yes.
Least access because we cannot give global administrator, or we cannot give Azure administrator, storage administrator, everyone like that. So there are mainly three kind of roles in Azure Active Directory or Azure Cloud. Owner, remember this, owner
Owner,
and contributor
contributor,
and reader. Mostly
reader,
three. Recently, Azure Cloud introduced in fourth one. We'll discuss fourth one, but focus on three only. Owner,
contributor, and
contributor,
reader.
reader. Okay, sir.
Mhm. Mhm.
So these are the definition. We are not going to talk about. RBAC we are playing since many years, right? So
Right.
owner, contributor, reader, and how you are going to provide, access to your users, for your users or groups applicable for all two, and also service principal, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So what is the difference between Azure AD rules and RBAC rules? Over to you.
I don't have it, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, read it. This is clearly mentioned here only.
Azure RBAC manage access to Azure resources, manage access to Azure AD objects.
Clear?
Scope can yeah
So
multiple levels.
Azure AD roles is restricted to only Azure AD tenants, Azure Active
Mhm.
Directory, right?
Mhm.
But RBAC roles are not limited to tenant or Azure AD. You
Mhm.
can apply within any Azure resources across the Azure landing zone. What is
So Azure
Azure?
AD roles are like your global administrator, your security
Mhm.
administrator. These are your
Right,
roles,
right,
which you are defining at the tenant at the subscription level.
right.
And
But
roles RBAC roles are to
RBAC,
your resources, to your
yeah,
servers, to your storage.
you can play complete into your Azure landing zone. So what is Azure landing zone, sir?
Azure landing zones are like your VMs, your files, your
Mhm.
network.
In nutshell, I will say your HLD, your LLD of Azure Cloud, right? Simple,
Hmm.
right, sir?
Right.
Yes. So, okay. Now, second, read the second one. You will get the difference actually.
Scope can be specified at multiple levels. Scope is at the tenant level. So multiple levels means whatever resources you have, you can provide at each level. Means, but like
Mhm.
here, you are providing roles to the tenant. If what kind of role he falls into, global admin, security admin, or other roles. But the
Mhm.
scope, like what kind of scope is needed on the VM, who need
Mhm.
VM management access, who need to only work on VMs, but they cannot create VMs or delete VMs. These kind of RBACs, which can be
Yes,
specified.
absolutely. And the last
So
one is.
someone
Mhm.
can log into your resources
Mhm.
and can only read something. Someone
Yeah.
can is allowed to only create and modify, and
Mhm.
there are only few who are allowed to delete something
Mhm.
from the
Mhm.
resources. So these are the
Yes,
different RBAC rules which can be applied.
absolutely. And the last one, important.
Role information can be accessed in the Azure portal, CLI, PowerShell. So these are different ways you can access you can define these roles.
Mhm.
And similar, I think that can be also
What about
AD
Azure
roles,
AD roles? Mhm.
Azure portal, admin portal, graph. So different way how you can provide these roles.
Yes, right. So these are the few major differences to just understand these things. Anyway, RBAC is also in the backend going to your Azure AD roles only. Getting my point? In the
Mhm.
backend, it is contacting your tenant only because tenant is your baseline.
Baseline. Mhm.
Yes. It's to manage your least access RBAC we are applying. We cannot give, all Azure AD roles to everyone kind of. That's why we need the RBAC actually. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
And these things you can read it offline. Okay, I'm not going
Mhm.
to focus on the more. Okay, this is the end of this.